Here's your First Warn Weather Forecast First, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
It's been a cool day in the state line. Our temperatures have only made their way into the mid-60s so far, topping out at 66 in Rockford for the second day in a row. We now sit at 64 there. 64 also in Rochelle, 60 degrees on the nose in Monroe, 61 out in Galena. We'll see clouds clear out even a little bit more as we head here through the evening, which will continue to allow our temperature to drop. We'll likely see those numbers drop all the way down into the 40s for our overnight lows and quickly into the 50s here over the next several hours. We'll see a little cooler morning ahead, but we'll see numbers rise again to the 60s for tomorrow afternoon. I'll let you know how many more chilly days we have before we see a warm up again coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
The coroner's office releases new information on a crash on I-39. The identity of the man killed is released.
Plus, a group in Stevenson County asking the community for help, the assistance needed by the Freeport Salvation Army.
And a warning for drivers as we enter harvest season, how you can stay safe while sharing the road with farm equipment.
Live from WTVO 17. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. We thank you for being here.
Tonight at 5, we have an update on a crash on I-39 that critically injured 2 people.
The Winnebago County Coroner's Office confirming that 54-year-old Jeffrey Quinn from Green Bay has died. Officials say Quinn was driving south near Baxter Road around 10:30 yesterday morning when he lost control and went off-road into a ditch. Officials say they found Quinn inside the car and brought him to a nearby hospital where he later died. Another person was reported to be in the car, and we're working to learn their condition. The crash is still under investigation. Tonight at 5, a frightening moment just outside Guilford High School involving 2 men and a gun.
The school says 2 people drove past an outdoor PE class yelling and waving a handgun. Students were immediately moved to a safe location. Police say a school resource officer responded to the report and the 2 men were detained at Alpine and East State. A notification was sent to parents and Guilford classes continued as usual.
Tonight we're learning more about a serious ATV crash in Rockford. Police say it happened around 7 last night. A 39-year-old man was driving an ATV when police say he collided with the trailer of a semi-truck. This was near the intersection of 22nd Street and Law Drive. Officers arrived to find the man with life-threatening injuries, and we're still working to learn his condition. In a statement, Rockford Police Chief Carla Redd reminding the public ATVs and other off-road vehicles are illegal on city streets. Police are offering a $200 reward for tips that lead to an arrest in this case.
The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office is investigating a motorcycle crash in Rockford this morning. Around 9:30, deputies responded to reports of an accident with serious injuries on Monroe Street near Ingersoll Golf Course. Authorities say the county's major crash assistance team's investigating due to the severity of the incident.
Immigration crackdown in nearby Chicago is causing concern and worry for local Hispanic leaders here in Rockford. Today, the city of Chicago canceled that city's festival for Mexican Independence Day due to fears of immigration enforcement. Here in Rockford, there are no plans for federal immigration authorities to conduct operations here, but we did speak with a community activist about why he feels the community should still celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, but understand the worry is still there.
It's a fear that it's real. And it's happening right now. So we've seen the change in the climate and the turnout for our events. But one of the things that we want to continue to do is offer these events because music brings unity, and brings people together. And one thing that I spoke with the Park District this morning actually, and saying, okay, we just need to be ready.
On September 14th, the Park District will host Fiestas Patrias at Levings Park to celebrate Hispanic heritage.
Freeport Salvation Army is looking to the community for help restocking its shelves.
Eyewitness News reporter Tyler Sorensen shows us what the Salvation Army is specifically looking for. Tyler?
Yeah, Mimi, Wendell, the Salvation Army is hoping people can help with some of the more high demand and non-perishable items, including canned vegetables, soups, tuna, as well as cereal. Now, Freeport Salvation Army serves 4 different counties, including Joe Davies, Carroll, Ogle, and as well as Stevenson, serving and helping around 800 people a month this year, with one person saying the pantry is helping more people than ever before.
Some of them were on SNAP and other programs, and some of those programs are not available anymore. So we're seeing the demand grow. So there is a demand for what we're getting before and they can't get now, so we're helping supply that demand they have. If there's a way we can help them with their budget, this is a great way to give them the food they need to offset some of the things they can't buy.
Now, if you are able to donate these items, they can be dropped off at the Salvation Army in Freeport from 9 to 3. Mimi.
All right, thanks, Tyler. As summer comes to an end, so too does a popular Friday night festival. The final Rockford City Market of the year is happening right now. Food trucks, local vendors, live music, and more are all available for guests to enjoy. Local band Swing Billy RFD is playing on the main stage, while Something Simple is performing on the acoustic stage. Coming up tonight at 9 and 10, we'll hear from Executive Director Rachel Larson about the end of her first season with the market.
Harvest season in Illinois is here, and farmers will be working long days to get their crops out of the fields. That means more farm equipment will be on the roads. So Illinois State Police reminding all drivers just to stay cautious on the road. They say farmers try to avoid rush hour and busier roadways when possible, but sometimes tractors need to use the roadway, and they are hard to miss. But you should still keep an eye out for the orange triangles. Those are what's hard to miss. If it's on the back of a piece of farm equipment, it means it is moving slow and you need to slow down too. The machines farmers drive are big, but their visibility is poor. So you do have to pass one, make sure you give them plenty of space.
This weekend, racers will take to the track for the annual Race to End Domestic Violence. The event supports the Rockford Family Peace Center, a nonprofit founded in 2020. Participants will compete in go-karts on a professional racetrack in Brodhead, Wisconsin. A portion of the entry fees for the race will go back to the Family Peace Center. This will be the 5th year for the fundraising event.
So we had our first event and it's kind of just exploded since. So 2 years ago, we opened it up to the public to help promote more awareness for domestic violence and our Family Peace Center. And that's what brought us to it today.
If you'd like to check out the race, it's this Sunday at 4:45. It's at the Sugar River Raceway in Brodhead. The unemployment rate hits the highest level it's been in nearly 4 years.
When we return, we'll hear about what is believed to have caused this increase.
Our high temperatures only made their way into the mid-60s today after starting out in the 50s, but we'll be in store for a few more cool nights ahead. I'll let you know how many more as we head into the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Lever, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
The U.S. labor market contracted in June for the first time since the pandemic.
The August jobs report also showed that the employers sharply pulled back hiring amid federal economic policies. Karen Travers brings us the story from the White House.
This morning, a new jobs report confirms employers are dramatically slowing down their hiring. The Labor Department out with numbers showing only 22,000 jobs were added in August, and revisions to June numbers now reflect a loss of 13,000 jobs. That marks the first time the economy has lost jobs since December 2020, during the height of the pandemic. The unemployment rate ticked up to 4.3%, which is also the highest rate in nearly 4 years.
Inflation is low and economic growth is solid. Income growth's solid as well. So that the only part of the data that's disappointing is that the jobs numbers have been a little bit lower over the last 3 or 4 months.
The July report showed a slowdown in job growth and a rise in unemployment. The BLS July figures also included big revisions to the June and May reports, which went down by a combined 258,000 jobs from earlier announced levels.
These numbers tell us that the economy has basically been treading water, not just this past month, but really since the beginning of the summer.
This is also the first jobs report since President Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the president claiming without any evidence that the July data was manipulated to make him look bad. During a White House dinner with tech leaders last night, the president was asked whether he would commit to saying the data in today's jobs report would be credible.
I don't know, they come out tomorrow, but the real numbers that I'm talking about are going to be whatever it is, but will be in a year from now when these monstrous, huge, beautiful places, they're palaces of genius. And when they start opening up, you're seeing, I think you'll see job numbers that are going to be absolutely incredible.
Wall Street opened higher on the weak jobs report. The worse than expected hiring could cement an interest rate cut by the Federal Reserve in just a couple of weeks, something President Trump has been pushing for months. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
A local employer is getting national recognition.
UW Health in Northern Illinois is named one of America's best employers by state. The ranking comes from Forbes. It was ranked the best health system to work for here in Illinois. The scores were determined by personal and public evaluations. The healthcare provider's growth opportunities, benefits, and inclusive environment were cited for the ranking. Pretty chilly here at State Line tonight.
When we come back, Jordan lets us know how cool it could get as we move into the weekend. His forecast coming up next.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
It's been a little bit on the breezy side today as we've seen winds peaking around 20 miles per hour for that sustained wind at times throughout much of the daytime, and those wind gusts even a little bit stronger than that. At the moment, many of our airport observations reporting sustained winds between 15 and 20 miles per hour, 17 mile per hour wind out of the west in Rockford as well as in Monroe, 16 miles per hour in Janesville, even 22 miles per hour out in Galena. Those wind gusts, however, approaching that 30 mile per hour mark in a couple locations, 29 miles per hour. The current wind gust in Galena, 25 miles per hour in Rockford, 20 mile per hour wind gust out in Rochelle. In Freeport, you see some of that wind also with the flagpole with our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera in Freeport, brought to us by the Rockford Career College. The wind blowing that flag there off in the distance, along with that mostly sunny sky, shadows growing ever long. And that's where we're going to continue to see the clearing sky here as we head into the evening. Winds will slowly ease, but that paired with the clear sky will allow for our temperatures to start to drop. We're already into the low 60s in a few spots. 60 degrees in Monroe, 61 out in Galena, 64 meanwhile in Rochelle and in Rockford, 66 in Dixon. Our weather watcher Jean out in DeKalb reporting an air temperature of 62 degrees, 51% humidity, 15 mile per hour sustained wind at the moment. We'll maintain that clearing sky as we head here through the evening, but the spinning upper level low pressure system up to our north will continue to bring a few spots of these clouds through the area. Some light rain showers currently being produced across parts of Wisconsin, Iowa, and even into Minnesota. We will remain unimpacted from any of those, aside from a little bit of cloud cover here during the overnight hours. So for those Friday night football games, we'll continue to see those temperatures drop fairly quickly, eventually down into the mid 50s by 8 p.m., even low 50s by 9. A little bit of a breeze early on, but that will start to filter out as we head through the late evening hours, and eventually our air temperature even dropping down into the 40s for those overnight lows. 43 here in Rockford for that forecast. Low temperature, a few clouds passing through, otherwise a very chilly night. Winds will not be quite as strong as where they were last night, and that trend will continue going into tomorrow. Winds could still gust around 10 or 15 miles per hour at times through the nighttime hours, but will ramp back up near 20 or even 25 miles per hour going into tomorrow afternoon. That air temperature will also make its way back up into the mid 60s, but it might feel a little bit warmer than where we were today with a slightly lesser wind. 66 degrees. If we were to make that mark, there'd be 3 straight days making 66 here in Rockford, 42 that following overnight low. Sunday will actually be fairly pleasant compared to Saturday because even less wind with high pressure taking hold. A similar temperature will make it feel quite a bit warmer when you factor in that there will be less wind in place. This pocket of cooler air overhead sticks around as we head through the weekend, but eventually an upper level ridge will start to take over. This much milder air mass from the west will start to pull its way a little bit closer, and that'll bring our air temperature even possibly close to that 80-degree mark at times going into the early and middle parts of next week. So here's how that 7-day forecast shapes up. We are still in the 60s for Saturday and for Sunday, also dry for the weekend. Eventually rain chances start to build in along with our rising temperatures back to the mid 70s as we head into Monday, even close to 80 degrees Tuesday into Wednesday. A few spotty rain chances can't be completely ruled out, but generally speaking, we don't have anything as far as any widespread rain goes, and air temperatures sticking closer to average back to the 70s for much of the week.
Thank you, Jordan.
Drew's up next with sports.
He's live from Byron High School for a preview of the Byron Tigers against the Dixon Dukes.
Now sports with Drew Collins.
I'm live here at the newly renovated Everett Stein Stadium at Byron High School. The JV game of the Dixon Dukes and the Byron Tigers are going on right behind me, but we're getting set to preview the varsity game between the Dukes and the Tigers. Last year, I was at this game, and it was the craziest game I went to all season long. Byron won that one 29-28 on a 2-point conversion scored by Caden Considine with only 16 seconds remaining. Byron is the defending B&C champs with a 26-game conference win streak that dates all the way back to 2022. The Dukes played through all conference running back and linebacker Landon Carnegie. Jagger Kemp takes over at QB in replace of the Shaner brothers. The Byron Tigers run through fullback and safety Caden Considine, but they have speedster Andrew Talbert returning under center, alongside playmakers such as Caden McGow and Dawson Criddle as well. Both coaches and playmakers know that this game is won in the trenches. Physicality and hard-nosed football is the key to this one, and both teams also know that this is the most important game of the regular season, and they are ready to give it their all.
You know, we certainly know that this is a big game for both schools, and we're going to prepare like that just like we have all summer.
I actually know Jagger. He's one of my buddies. You know, I've seen him go to quarterback camps and all this. I think he's solid. He's got a good arm. I think he's pretty quick, too.
We have our film from last year against them, so we kind of look back on that to see what they're going to run against us. But we're guessing they're going to feed the ball to their running back.
I think you have to be fundamentally sound defensively. Our coaches have, hopefully put together a good game plan. And the other thing, too, is you have to match their physicality.
Me personally, I love it because it's just right out the gate. It's two good teams going after each other.
A lot of people are going to be there. So, it's the biggest game of the year for us.
It's a slim schedule in the Nick 10 tonight. The Blue Thunder will face the Pretzels in Freeport. The Jayhawks will take on Hononegah. Boylan and East will also face off. And then tomorrow at noon, Harlem will take on Auburn. And tomorrow night, the Belvedere Bucks will host Guilford. Here are some of the key games around the area tonight that we'll be following closely. Scott Lever will be at the Stockton and Lena Winslow game. Grab your popcorn. That one should be awesome. Forreston at Dakota should be another one to look out for tonight. The overtime team will have highlights and scores tonight, plus Tim Bailey's reactions to more Nick 10 action, and I'll have a spotlight feature story on 2 stud transfers over at Jefferson High School. Overtime will air on Fox 39 at 10:30. Buckle up because we have a full slate of high school football coming up tonight. That's sports. We'll be right back.
So for people heading out for Friday Night Football tonight, a jacket's probably a good idea?
Jacket, maybe a couple layers, depending on how attuned you are to the cold.
Not layers.
If Wendell's heading out to the football games, he's got to have a jacket, maybe a second jacket.
Yeah.
Gloves, hat, scarf.
Trust me, I will not be cold.
Hey, you know what? Whatever you got to do to make yourself feel comfortable and enjoy some of those Friday night games.
And no umbrellas, though.
No umbrellas.
Good
we will
deal.
not need any of that. Clear sky. First Horn interactive radar from Rockford Glass and More. Temperatures dropping back down into the 40s for our overnight lows, though, only rebounding the mid-60s again for Saturday and Sunday. A little bit less in the way of the breeze as we head into the weekend.
Thank you, Jordan.
And thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at 6.